Hey friends, Ryan Moffat here with Addiction Hope. Hope you're doing well. Tonight I want to dive into this question, and that's this. If you're an approval addict, how does that weigh into your chances of being a substance abuser? And when I say approval addict, there's actually so much stuff now on Google, on the internet about this new addiction that they're finding in really our generation because of the rise of social media, the interconnectedness of people. There actually is a longing in the human experience to need and want the approval of others. But what I found in my life as a pastor working with people is I went into pastoral work and youth ministry thinking, man, I'm going to help and serve people. It's going to be great. I'll do it to serve God and it'll be awesome, right? But what ended up happening is that the more I served, the more accolades, the more recognition, the more attaboys I received. So people would say, man, we just love it when you speak, or we love how God's used you in our life for these redemptive purposes, or whatever it might be. But what I found is that over time, what happened for me is that there was a slow drift in my life from doing something because I felt called to it, because I wanted to do it, because I was passionate about the mission of serving and helping people. And slowly what happened in me is that I actually developed a real unhealthy, inordinate attachment of the need to be needed, the need to be wanted, the need to be approved by others. And what happened for me and what can happen for you is that approval addiction can and find your significance in your deepest longings in your heart in God. God bless you. Have a good night. Bye.